Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2020. I hope everyone's 2019 went well, all things considered, like Australia being on fire. And I hope the next coming months and years will be as good, if not better. The channel is doing pretty well. Did not get as many subscribers in 2019 as I did in 2018. I got over 3,000 in 2018, and I got about 2,700. I think I got 33 or 3,500 in 2018. I got 2,700 in 2019, which is a disappointment. And it's definitely something that I need to think about, whether there's anything in particular that happened that might have caused that, and whether there's anything I can do to alter that going forward. Two things that happened that I think kind of contributed to that. Number one, Crusader Kings 2 didn't really have a big DLC. And that's always been a good leader for me for the channel and getting new subscribers. They had a free one, but it just kind of rolled out for most people, and I don't like the campaign that I did for it didn't get the attention that the previous one did because there was no new paid DLC. There weren't people going out saying, "Should I buy this? Let's go look to see what it offers." Since it was free, everyone got it. There was no question as to whether it was worth getting. So there was no real big increase in search traffic based on people wanting to see the content. And I didn't get it early, so I didn't have a few days of pre-release like I do with the paid stuff. In addition, Imperator Rome didn't do as well as I had hoped, both for the channel and both for Paradox. It had some pretty hefty negative feedback when it came out. I've talked about that in the Imperator Rome playthroughs. I think a lot of it was unfair. I wasn't exactly disappointed with the game, but it definitely didn't do what I wanted it to, which was not a knock on the game itself. It's just that I was coming to it from Crusader Kings 2, and I was hoping for a more Crusader Kings 2 experience when it felt more Europa Universalis 4 to me. Which I've tried to get into, and I kind of enjoy watching videos of it, but it just hasn't been something that I've been able to get into playing. So, I was really hoping for more of a Crusader Kings 2 style, and they were trying for that, but I think that on balance it was more EU4 than CK2. Crusader Kings 3 is in the offing in the future. I assume this year, because usually when Paradox starts talking about it and having dev diaries, I think they're looking at about a 6-month lead time to release. I don't know for sure. That's just kind of my gut feeling and stuff like that. And I know that there are certain times that Paradox specifically avoids releasing games because that's a time when EA and Ubisoft and stuff like that are releasing games. So I'm not sure when that's gonna be dropping. I'm kind of guessing either late spring or summer, but that's just based on my gut instinct as opposed to any actual information that I have. I have no actual information whatsoever on a release date for Crusader Kings 3. I will be playing some campaigns of that when it comes out. I'm certainly not going to be shifting the channel into that, but there will be Crusader Kings 3 content. Again, in hopes of getting some of that traffic, and I'll want to play the game myself, see what I think. I've talked a little bit about Crusader Kings 3 on streams. If you want to discuss that with me, Discord and streams are probably the best place to do it. I don't think that's really something to talk too much about in the monthly updates. before going on, I did want to get the monthly multiplayer for January announcement out of the way. That is going to be the digital board game Ticket to Ride. I played the actual board game version at Thanksgiving when my aunt and her kids passed by going to visit other members of their family, and they brought that and played 2 games of that and had a blast. I didn't win either of them, but it was definitely a lot of fun, and then someone pointed out to me that there's a version on Steam. So that's going to be the monthly multiplayer. That is going to be on Saturday, January 11th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, so an hour after I finish up the Spelljammer stream. It will not be streamed. It is open to everyone. Yes, it was a Patreon reward, but it is open to everyone. It was a reward for, it was a goal. Once I hit the goal, start doing these, and they're open to, first come, first serve, whether you're a patron or a Twitch subscriber or none of the above. We will be handling that over Discord, voice chat, that sort of thing. And the game is currently on sale on Steam, I think through January 2nd, for like $4. There's a bundle for $22. We're going to play the base game first. If it's successful, if people enjoy it and the videos get, decent views, I will certainly be considering playing some of the expansions for that game on future monthly multiplayers. But that's going to be what we're doing. So once again, January 11th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, which is GMT minus 5 right now, I think. So game's on sale on Steam. If you're interested, go pick it up. It's a pretty fun game, regardless. So, it may be something worth purchasing for yourself anyway, even if you don't think you can make it. But that's going to be the monthly multiplayer, and I am looking forward to it. I think it'll be a lot of fun to play. PM me on Discord if you are interested in it. It's going to be first come, first serve. It allows up to 5 players, so there are 4 slots available, me being the 5th. Don't hesitate to let me know if you're interested. If you're saying, oh, he's probably already gotten 4 by now, tell me anyway. Someone who's already said that they want in may have something come up and they can't make it that day, and I will be contacting you and saying, all right, you're in. So, do let me know for that. So that's something that I really wanted to get out of the way, in part because that game is still on sale for like another day. So people can rush over and purchase that if they want in. Other channel news, of course, we got newly started on the channel, Final Fantasy Adventures for the Game Boy. Was released in Japan as Seiken Densetsu, so to a certain extent, Secret of Mana Zero. It's a lot of fun to play. That replaces Soul Blazer, which I think was entirely in December, so it didn't make it into one of my monthly updates. Another short action RPG. Betrayal at Krondor is still going strong. Dragon Quest Builders 2 footage is still going up, and that's going to be going up for a while. I'm way ahead on the streams, and still streaming it, although I'm probably going to be switching to something else either this month or the beginning of next month. It's a lot of fun and people are enjoying it, but I do think that it's time to vary up the stream content a little bit. Crusader Kings 2, The White Huns of Britain is also still ongoing. That's going to be a long campaign. There's a lot of achievements to get in that one, although there will come a point where I just kind of start snowballing. Also, starting on the very last day of December, the Crusader Kings 2 MS BikeRide 2019 Donor Reward campaign started up. Those who donated a certain amount to Zerfall's MS BikeRide charity stream got characters in that I modded into Crusader Kings 2. It's already been quite a bit of fun. You can go see some other Let's Players and some, high volume commenters on some of those other channels. See how they do in medieval Europe. All with the bloodline for MS BikeRide, giving them some little minor boosts. Some people are in pretty tough spots. I will say that. It's definitely going to be interesting to see whose family survives, whose realms survive. I kind of suspect that mine is not going to, for reasons that you will see when you start it up if you go watch that. Please do watch that. It's a lot of fun. I've included a link to the mod itself in the description, so if, especially for those who are in the game, you can download that and play as yourself and see how long you can get your family to persist in medieval Europe. Or you could just play as me or one of the other, one of the other Let's Players or commenters, donors. See if you can conquer all the rest of us. It should be a lot of fun. When all of the donor characters have died off, I will probably switch over. Well, I will switch over to Observer mode, at least for a time, to see, like whose realm persists, whose family persists. How many members of the bloodline are there at the end of the game, kind of thing. I haven't quite decided on how I'm going to handle that Observer mode thing, but. So that'll be in the future once all the donor characters die off. Dokopon Kingdom with MysteriousJG and Zerfall is still ongoing. JG, this is all over on his channel, but I do have the playlist here. Because of Christmas break and the holidays, JG switched over to putting up one of those every day because we have so much in the tank, so to speak. So a lot of that got uploaded. If you've fallen behind, do check that out. There's a lot there. It's been a blast to play as well. And I'm looking forward to getting back together next week and recording some more. And we got our first adventure session in all of December for the Spelljammer campaign last weekend as well. Just unfortunate circumstances kept multiple people out through most of December, but those situations are resolved, so we should be back on track to getting another session every week, fingers crossed. So that's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this weekend and having more Adventure Times fun with that. That's primarily it with the channel, at least the new stuff. I did kind of want to mention, like, in terms of Let's Plays, like Let's Play series, playlists and everything like that, I've had over 30 this year. And it actually would have been more if not for like Tales of Vesperia, which took up half the year, which is pretty amazing. I mean, obviously some of them, like Kathy Rain and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Soul Blazer, those are all pretty short, but still, that's a lot. I put out a lot of content this year. I think the breakpoint for new stuff is actually Space Quest 3. I don't know why it's down here. I think that came out in, like, April. And yet, like, Heroine's Quest is up here. I think I may have had to... Like, it orders this based on when it was last modified, so there might have been a video missing or a video out of order in Heroine's Quest or something like that. I don't know. But Dragon Quest 11 is up here, and XCOM Terror from the Deep, the stream. Both of those ended fairly early in 2019. Heroine's Quest started very late in 2018, so that's kind of the break point on the start of 2019 stuff. So we had Space Quest 3. I can't remember about the Crusader Kings 2 stream footage. That might have stretched into 2019 as well. I think Stellaris Megacorp did as well. I don't think that was entirely in 2019. But we had the Thea the Awakening playthrough, Imperator Rome when that came out, the kind of aborted Egypt run. Starflight, Guild of Dungeoneering stream, Crusader Kings 2 Holy Fury. I think that was in November. I think it started in November and stretched into 2019. That's been just about my most successful thing on the channel right now. The first episode of Jade Dragon and that overall, very successful. The original Terror from the Deep is also very successful, but in terms of 2019, the Holy Fury content has definitely been very successful. We had Kathy Rain, A Detective is Born, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Basically the first half of the year was Tales of Vesperia. And I may need to think about, like, the next time I do a game that's gonna run that long, I probably need to put it in an extra track and start doing other stuff after about 100 episodes, just because it's so long. At least if it doesn't look like it's going to end around, like a little bit after 100 episodes. Fallout 2 ended at 127 videos, and I don't feel like that took up so much time that I should have backburnered it or put it as an additional thing. But it did run kind of long. But I had a number of short things as well, and that might make a difference. In terms of the console games, like there was definitely a dearth of new console game RPGs I felt this year. And 2019, I will try to avoid anything quite so long if I can, I think. We also had the Great Works One Who Brings Benefit campaign. That was a lot of fun. Thea the Awakening, I streamed. Once I finished up the Morena campaign, I was having so much fun, I decided to play it again, and I played it on stream. We had Crystalis on stream, a replay. I love that game. Always do. Always will. Stellaris Megacorp multiplayer with MysteriousJG and Zerfall. That was a lot of fun. The game gets so bogged down at the end, though. Let's see. The Greater Iberia campaign in Imperator Rome. That was a lot of fun. Actually getting to see the end screen of Imperator Rome, too. Fallout 2, Breath of Fire 2... and then on stream, I went through Legend of Zelda, both the first quest and the second quest, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. I did have to set myself to having unlimited lives in order to actually get through that game, though. I'm not good at it. I'm really, really not good at that game. And then Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past. I did those in quick succession on stream. And then I kind of had a spate of Sierra games. We had Colonel's Bequest, immediately followed by Codename Iceman, and then immediately followed by Betrayal at Krondor, which was made by Dynamix, a subsidiary of Sierra. So it's been a very Sierra late year, last few months. Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, that was the patron's choice for this year. Went through the PSP version, and just reminding myself once again how absolutely gorgeous the new animation sequences in that game were. It's just fantastic. I love it. I'd love to see like an actual anime version of Final Fantasy Tactics with that style. That would be just incredibly gorgeous, I think. Went through Final Fantasy VI, and I have some thoughts on Final Fantasy VI. I talked about it a lot at the end. I enjoyed myself a little bit more than I thought I would, which is not to say that I dislike the game. I like most Final Fantasy games. But over the years, 6 has kind of like stepped down the ranks of the ones that I enjoy. But it really did hammer home how much, like, the first half of the game, or the world of balance. You've got this cohesive story, you're going from place to place, it's very story-driven, and then the second half, it just feels like it's all side quests. And it never hit home quite how much that was. Like, if you just do the required stuff at the end of the game, super short. Of course, you'll also miss out on most of the characters, but it's just so much of it felt like just side quests at that point. And it was a really weird feeling kind of having that realization. There's this big disconnect between the two parts of the game. I think if the whole game had been like the world of balance, it would have been... I think it would be higher in my personal list of favorite Final Fantasies. Which is not to say that there's some good... There isn't good stuff in the World of Ruin half of it, but... I don't know, it just feels like the game breaks down at that point. So, yeah, it's my thoughts on the matter. Crusader Kings 2, The White Huns of Britain, is the new campaign that started, I think, in November. Mainly just to, like, I'd been without a Crusader Kings 2 campaign for a while, and I needed to get playing at it again, I think. Gelfling Adventure, another Sierra game. 2 episodes. Those games are really short. I used a walkthrough that was basically intended to get you the minimum number of moves, because that's kind of how the game scores it. Did you do the game in the minimum number of moves? But there's a lot of options that are just informational options that don't actually... get you killed or prevent you from winning, and I think that I would have liked taking those options and not getting the minimum number of getting close to the minimum number of moves. Would have been more interesting, I think. If I ever do the actual Dark Crystal, which Gelfling Adventure is a kind of a simplified version of it, the Dark Crystal has a more Zork-esque text parser style to it, where you actually say, like, N for go north or E for go east kind of thing. I will try out some of the other... I'll try to get more of the story in the game. That one is also playable through Scum VM, whereas Gelfling Adventure is not. I had to get an Apple II emulator to play that. And that would make it easier. I could save in the middle of the game, whereas Gelfling Adventure had no save functionality whatsoever. So if I ever do that, that's definitely something that I will consider. And of course we did Soul Blazer entirely in December, wrapped up pretty quickly, and back up to the current stuff. So yeah, I mean, last year... a lot of content. I don't know how it compares video-wise, like number of videos, to previous years. But I am over 10,000 videos on YouTube right now. So there's a lot of stuff that I put up on YouTube. Tons and tons and tons of content for people newly subscribed to pick and choose from. I mean, there's people that I've been subscribed to for almost 10 years now, and I haven't even watched all of their stuff yet. So, I don't expect people to have gotten through everything. But do keep in mind that I have these different groupings on the playlists. Console RPGs, adventure games, Gold Box and other AD&D games, Ultimate and other PC RPGs, strategy and simulation games. Do look at those when you're wondering what I've done. I've had multiple people comment on Final Fantasy Adventure asking, do you plan to play Secret of Mana? Well, it just so happens that I have already played it. There it is. 33 videos. So, I'm perfectly understandable. It's especially with so many playlists and everything like that, it's really easy to miss them, and YouTube does not, honestly, in my opinion, give you the best tools for finding these sorts of things. So I'm not at all angry about people who comment that sort of thing. I always try to politely point out that, very nicely say, I have done it, go check it out, kind of thing, in such cases. Because it's totally understandable that, it's just so easy to miss all of these. But do check those out if you're wondering if I've played something. There's tons and tons and tons of content on the channel already. It's good times. Anyway, next year I do have plans. Not going to say when it's going to happen, but Dragon Quest VI is the next in the series, so I will definitely be playing that at some point in the year. The release of the early Dragon Quest games on Switch has definitely brought in more viewers to these earlier games, and that's been a pleasure to see people commenting on those as well. Anytime that happens, there's, a good additional traffic for these games that I already have up on the channel. In fact, someone mentioned that my Dragon Quest 1, the playlist itself, not the videos, but the playlist itself, is really high in the search results for Dragon Quest 1, which kind of blows me away. So many people have played that game, and my playlist is up near the top. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty fantastic. And a lot of that comes from you guys liking and commenting and actually watching to completion the videos. All of that increases the engagement statistics, kind of tells the YouTube algorithm, this is good content, put it higher in the list. So remember, if you are watching me or any other YouTube creator, the same goes for all of them, and you're thinking to yourself, man, their stuff is really good, but I don't understand why they have this number of subscribers rather than 3 or 4 or 5 times as much. Like the videos, leave comments, watch the videos entirely through. All of that tells the YouTube algorithm, this is good content. This is something that the algorithm, should promote to other people. So, keep that in mind when you're watching, me and other YouTubers. That really does help. The engagement statistics are basically what YouTube uses for, kind of deciding what to serve up in the searches. There's a lot of problems with the algorithm itself, but that's one of the ways that you can do a part to help promote Let's Players like myself and just, YouTube content creators in general. So do keep that in mind when you're watching anyone on YouTube. If you want to support me, you can do so in multiple ways. If you want to support me more than just that watching the videos and commenting and liking the videos, you can go to Patreon and support me there. I currently do have a goal of, at $600 per month, I will have a new recurring video content of games chosen by patrons and viewers. It'll be a mix of both, either voted entirely on by Patreon supporters or suggested by them and then voted on by the viewers as a whole. So if I get up to that amount, there will be more direct viewer interaction in the content, and that would be an additional video series each day. If you want to do, you don't want to do a monthly thing, you want to just give me what you can when you can, I do have a Ko-fi account. Links are all going to be in the video description. You can buy me a ham. Someone gave me a gold membership, which allowed me to customize this. I don't drink coffee, so buying a coffee for me doesn't really mean much, but I like my ham. So if you want to buy me a ham, you can come on over, leave a message, set to private or not, and support me. And I would greatly appreciate all of that support. You can also support me on Twitch with Twitch Prime subscriptions or regular subscriptions. There are subscriber goals. You get subscriber points depending on what level people subscribe at. The basic tier gets me 1 point. The second tier gets me 2 points. I haven't had anyone subscribe to me at the third tier, so I don't know how many points I get out of that. But every time I surpass one of those goals, it unlocks a new emote. So if you enjoy the emotes, and there are some people who really do enjoy those, you can go ahead and if you have an Amazon Prime, or you just find that is a good way to support me for you, you can subscribe to me on Twitch and work our way up to getting tons and tons of fun emotes. I've got a lot of emotes on Discord right now that I have definitely gotten some people to get the Discord Nitro to have access to the animated emotes. Some of them are pretty fun. And that is, if you enjoy that kind of thing, come on over to the Discord and take a gander at those. Just chat with me and the other viewers as well. It's always a good time. Over on my blog, I have a new deity for those who play Dungeons & Dragons and are interested in kind of lore aspects. If you play 2nd edition, want more variety in the types of priests and cultures that you have in the game, my Monster Mythology update is, in my opinion, my not-so-humble opinion, a pretty good source for expanding that out. The deity this month is the hard-to-pronounce for me, Nair Skaak. Doesn't look like that in the spelling. It's Irish, and I am bad at Irish Gaelic pronunciations. I'm using the pronunciation given in Monster Mythology itself, so it might not even be correct based on that, but that's the closest thing I can get to it. He is basically the last of the draconic deities, but he has more a greater kinship with the fairies of the Seelie Court than his other brethren, considering that he's about 2 feet long, as opposed to the hundreds of feet long of all of the other dragon deities. It's kind of understandable. But he's a pretty interesting deity. He's patron of fairy dragons and pseudo-dragons. There was an element of Cheshire Cat to him, and I kind of keyed in on that when creating him. That's where I got the title, The Grin Without a Dragon, which I again, it's my own stuff. I'm gonna like it, but I got a kick out of creating that one. But do check him out and let me know what you think. Leave a comment on the blog or talk to me on Discord or in this video description. I'm always interested in hearing what people think of the Monster Mythology update project that I'm working on. And that's primarily it for this channel update. As I said, the Patreon support that you guys give me is utterly fantastic, as is the support, the new support on Ko-fi, the subscriptions on Twitch. It all really does mean a lot to me. It goes a long way to keeping me solvent, which I'm not doing as well as I would like in that regard. I'm really not solvent right now. I'm primarily getting by on the support of family and friends, in addition to everything coming in from Patreon, Twitch, YouTube, and Ko-fi. And if it doesn't increase, like, it's been fairly static 2019, and that's not a good sign. If it doesn't increase, like, if I'm not, there's a certain point that I need to get to have YouTube be my job, which is what I'm trying to do. And I'm not there yet. And I've been trying for a few years, and I think I'm kind of at the tail end of that attempt. If it doesn't happen soon, then I'm gonna have to go back to a quote-unquote normal job, and that will impact the channel. It will not end the channel. I will not stop what I'm doing because I enjoy it. It is by far what I would prefer to do in terms of making money, but it will definitely turn into a money-making hobby as opposed to my job. And that will probably mean that the number of videos every day goes down, because I will have other things that I will be filling my time with. I will have to fill my time with. So, if you, it really is important to, help me get to a higher level on YouTube and Patreon and stuff like that. If you can support me even at $1 on Patreon, that goes a long way. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription that you're not taking advantage of on Twitch, please do consider supporting me over on Twitch and subscribing using that. It's free for you. And of course, you can just donate on Ko-fi. That also really helps. Like I mentioned earlier, the number of subscriptions I got this year in 2019 was not as high as it was in 2018, and unfortunately, that's not a great sign. It's not like I fell off a cliff or anything like that, but it just didn't have as high of a growth as it kind of needs to be, and I'm just kind of worried that, there are things that I could do, change the channel around to try and capitalize on certain things, like chase the latest games, stop video series when viewership has dropped off, but that's not what I want to do. Like, I want to play games to completion. I want to take you guys along on the full journey, not just a partial journey. And I don't enjoy tuning into a channel, watching something, enjoying them playing through a game, and then they're just like, 20 episodes, it never shows up again. And sometimes they don't even tell you that they're stopping. I will definitely tell you if I'm quitting a game. That will, at the very least, be in a monthly update, or I will put up a video. If something happens and I cannot continue a game, I will let you guys know. Either a game is too difficult for me, I can't get past a certain point, or I just find that I'm not having any fun at all with it. I will I will let you guys know. And I want, like, I want the that experience of playing through the game and showing off the entire story and stuff like that. That is one of my goals with my Let's Play channel. I started it to show off some games that I really loved that were not on YouTube at the time, that there were really not very many Let's Plays of. Specifically the old Gold Box AD&D games. This was a time when they were not on GOG, well before they were on GOG. Now you can get most of them on GOG, but I still actually have, I believe, one of two. I may have the only Countdown to Doomsday DOS Let's Play. I'd have to go and look. It's been a while since I've looked. I think I have one of two full Matrix Cubed Let's Plays. So, you know, like, these are still not games that get played much. And most of these other people have played them, but for some of these, I was the first to do a complete Let's Play of the game. I think many of the Kryn games, Champions of Kryn, and I think Death Knights of Kryn, for example, I think those two were ones that I had the first full Let's Plays of. And certainly Countdown to Doomsday, the DOS version, and Matrix Cubed, I had the first full Let's Plays of. That was what I started the channel to do, primarily. And then it kind of transitioned into, you know, not only playing through other games that I loved, but also playing through games that I'd never finished. Like Betrayal at Krondor, Baldur's Gate. These are games that I played a bit of. I didn't own them. I played them at a friend's house. And I enjoyed them, but I never got to finish them. And the Let's Play format has really forced me to finish a lot of games that I've always wanted to finish. You know, games that oftentimes something else came out. There's a number of console games that I've played through to completion now that I owned, but I never finished because other games came out before I finished them, and I got distracted and couldn't remember where I was when I went back to them, that sort of thing. And then also just playing through games that I'd always wanted to play through, but never actually did. Or games that I played and enjoyed, but it was so long ago I'd basically forgotten everything. And it allows me to, you know, experience it again fairly fresh kind of thing. So that's what I enjoy about doing Let's Plays. Playing through a game to completion, seeing the ending, bringing you guys along for the journey, and I don't plan on changing that, even if it would increase channel growth. So it may be that format of channel just can't really be successful on YouTube. That may be the case. I hope not. I think that would be a real shame if that is the case, but that's kind of where I am right now. I'm probably only a few months away from a decision on whether I have to turn this back into a profitable hobby, but a hobby nonetheless, versus what I'm doing with my life. So, just want to try to be upfront about that, and you know, let you guys know where I am on that kind of point. There are things that I've seen recently that give me some hope. There's a couple other people that have been fairly transparent in how their channels are doing, and it made me realize that in a lot of respects, my channel is doing better than them for a similar size, and that gives me hope. On the other hand, I still have to hit a certain amount of income per month to be solvent, and I'm not there yet. So I'm still getting by on when I quit my job, actually a number of years ago now, I had a fair bit saved up, and like I said, I'm getting some support from family and friends in a number of ways, which is really helping. But you can't do that forever, you know. So that's where I am right now. So just wanted to give you guys a feel for what's going on and be pretty open about it. Anyway, I want to wrap up by saying once again, thank you guys for all the support that you've been showing in every way on here on YouTube with the comments and the likes. I greatly enjoy interacting with you over on Discord. The links are up here and in the video description on my my Twitch streams, which I just realized I have forgotten to actually mention when those are. Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I kind of have a soft penciled in but regular stream on Fridays at noonish Eastern Time for a couple hours, where I've been doing Crusader Kings 2, the Monarch's Journey stuff. And then noon on Saturdays for Spelljammer. Those are my current streams. Check those out if you if you're available at those times and you're looking for some live stuff to watch. I enjoy interacting with viewers at those times as well. And of course, patron supporters whose names are scrolling by. I really couldn't, without you guys, this would not be going as long as it has been. Patreon is by far the best way of supporting creators like me. Even in December, which is the most valuable month on YouTube, Patreon still kicks its butt in terms of income. Patreon is a fantastic platform as far as I'm concerned, and it really means a lot to me that you guys are willing to show me your support, and I don't know what else to say. I'm not very good at thank yous. I've never really known what to say that doesn't sound cheesy and insincere and stuff like that, but I really do appreciate it. It means a great deal, the amount of support that you guys show me there, and with Twitch subscriptions, now on Ko-fi, and like I said, here on YouTube. Thank you guys for all the support that you've given me, and I'll talk to you in the next Let's Plays and next month's update. See you then, everyone.